Prison versus jail. We define prison as a place of confinement especially for lawbreakers, and jail as a place of confinement for persons held in lawful custody. Many people feel that there are specific uses for each of these words, and that they should never be used interchangeably. In fact, many in society, including the media and popular culture, incorrectly use the terms jail and prison interchangeably. Ronald Burns, Journal of Criminal Justice Education, Spring 2002. It's amazing how many lawyers can't seem to differentiate between the two. Jail terms are for offenses that call for a year or less behind bars, and prison is for crimes that mandate a year or more of incarceration. Sue Morrow, Reno Gazette-Journal, Reno, Nevada, May 18, 2007. While key differences exist between jails and prisons, jails typically house people awaiting trial and those serving short sentences, while prisons confine convicts long-term. The Justice Department's study remains illustrative of life behind bars. The Boston Globe, Boston, Massachusetts, April 20, 2017. Those in favor of semantic exactness with these words will be glad to know that we do include specific uses for each word. Prison is an institution, such as one under state jurisdiction, for confinement of persons convicted of serious crimes, and jail is such a place under the jurisdiction of a local government, such as a county, for the confinement of persons awaiting trial or those convicted of minor crimes. If you are serving a sentence for a misdemeanor, such as stealing something of small value, or if you are waiting trial, it will likely be in a jail. If you are serving a sentence for a serious crime, such as murder, it will likely be in a prison. However, both jail and prison are very old words, both in use for well over 700 years, and this distinction has not always been observed. In modern use, the words are used interchangeably often enough that it is difficult to define either one as always meaning a certain thing. As evidence of this lack of distinction, the New York Times, in a story from 1964, employed jail in the headline and then used prison in the very first sentence of the story. Hoffa gets 8 years in jail and a lecture on justice. Headline: The New York Times, March 13, 1964. James R. Hoffa was sentenced to 8 years in prison and fined $10,000 today for attempting to rig a federal jury. The New York Times, March 13, 1964. It is worth noting that both words have meanings that are either figurative or somewhat more general. Prison may also mean a state of confinement or captivity, and jail may refer to confinement in a jail. Both words also function as verbs, and in this role are less influenced by misdemeanors or felonies than they would be as nouns. If you wish to avoid ambiguity in use, you should use prison for serious crimes with longer sentences, and jail for less serious crimes, or for detention awaiting trial. And penitentiary, when referring to a hoosegow, often has the specific meaning of a state or federal prison in the U.S.